Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Okay.
Engines echo through the Belgian forest as the Freedom Motorsport Alliance rolls into the legendary ZOLDER Grand Prix circuit for round 5 of the Mars Hardwood GT3 series. 45 minutes on this tight technical ribbon of asphalt will demand precision, bravery, and absolute commitment. Tonight, every braking zone becomes a battleground. Every chicane a test of nerve, and every mistake an invitation for rivals to pounce. The championship picture is tightening, tempers are sharpening, and ZOLDER, unforgiving as ever, waits to expose the smallest weaknesses. GT3 machines are fueled, the grid is almost set, and the Alliance is ready to unleash everything they've got. This is round 5 from ZOLDER, and it's time to go racing. This is Racers Nexus. I'm Rob Campbell in the booth with me, as usual, Richard Swindell. It's Rich, we were talking offhand. This is a track that doesn't see a whole lot of action, but a track that both of us have in highly ranked in our list of tracks we like.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people like the Formula One tracks and the famous North American tracks, and they get their favorites and they get stuck on them. But man, ZOLDER is a fabulous racetrack for these GT3 cars. Rob, I think we're gonna see some good racing here tonight. Lots of interesting places to attempt passes. You've got a few chicanes. You've got huge curves. You got some elevation changes. It's got a little mix of everything, and it deserves more time on the service, and I'm glad to see FMA here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a track that can bite you, though, as well, if you hit those curves that you mentioned wrong, Rich, as we'll probably see a number of times here this evening. There's always that driver that likes to come in there very shallow and bunny hop over the curves. Next thing you know, that car's about 2 feet up in the air, and it looks like a clip out of a Hoonigan video. So hopefully we don't see a whole lot this evening, but drivers out there in qualifying, most of them have, I guess, well, half the field's put a lap on the board to this point. But before we get looking at the lap times, let's take a look and see what our weather conditions are out there for this evening. 66-degree Fahrenheit air temp, 72-degree Fahrenheit track temp. That's a pleasant night for racing here at ZOLDER, Rich.
Yeah, not too hot, a little cloudy, so there's not going to be any sun glare. Beautiful day. Won't be too hot in the cars for the drivers either, Rob.
Exactly. They'll only need one water bottle this evening.
Yeah.
But, as I mentioned early on, this is race 5, so we're getting near the halfway point. Next week will mark the halfway point in the season. We're at ZOLDER this week, our usual 45-minute fixed setup racing. And then next week, Barber Park. That's another track that doesn't get enough use, I don't think, on the service, Rich. I don't know how you feel about that one. Barber is it's a track I like to as well, but I find it's better in certain car combos than others, like an open wheel car. I find tricky there. I know Indy goes there in real life, but I find an open wheel car, it's really tricky there. It's got a lot of raised curves, just like ZOLDER here, but it can really bite.
Yeah, I'm a open wheel fan, and I've raced there in F3 and IndyCar, and I loved it in both. I'm not saying I did well, but boy, oh man, it can bite, and it's a lot of fun. But we're here tonight at ZOLDER. We're coming up just over halfway point. Taking a look at Anthony Jenkins entering turn 1. Turn 1, you got to carry a lot of speed here. Good kind of passing opportunity if somebody goes out wide when you're entering into turn 2 here. kind of big sweeping right-hander getting way out onto the curbs is Anthony. Then you tuck it right back in and then swing it all out using all of the track.
Yeah, Anthony with a little bit of connection issue there, but hopefully that'll clear up for the race. I hate to see him get involved in something via some shoddy internet service, but here's that one of the first of those nasty chicanes we were talking about. Anthony navigating through there nicely, didn't even see any kind of issue with the suspension there at all. Rich just cleanly went through it. The Porsche, oh, there a little more of a bunny hop through the curb there for Anthony. So the Porsches are generally a little more compliant as far as suspension and curbs. It's going to be interesting when we see some of the Mustangs. The Mustang generally isn't the greatest up over the curbs, doesn't necessarily like them, so we'll keep an eye on a few of those Mustangs in the field, the Corvettes as well. Generally not a car that really likes to hammer the curbs.
No, it's definitely the Porsche seems to have a little bit of an advantage tonight, but that's all said. So far, most of the way through qualifying, we've got a Ford right up there, but a couple of Fords right up there, but the field seems to be mostly dominated in the top part by Porsches.
Yeah, forget Ford versus Ferrari. Looks like Ford versus Porsche here this evening, Rich, as you mentioned. It's pretty much the entire top 10. At least save for Robert Milbrath right now sitting in 10th in the Mercedes is all either a Porsche or a Ford Mustang.
Yeah. Where's our Corvettes here? The Corvettes were doing quite well in practice, so I'm wondering if they maybe just have some end-of-line penalties, Rob, because of their great performance last week.
Well, I can tell you Graham Jacobson and Brock Morris ended up finishing out of the podium via that black flag he got on the last lap. But Graham Jacobson does have an end-of-line penalty, so he'll be starting at the back. Travis Roberto, he won the race last week, so he'll have the end of line. And for some reason, the third driver is... I just can't quite remember who it was, Rich. I'm going to have a quick look here, but we'll find out shortly who that was, as we've only got... I guess we still got about a minute 47 left in qualifying. We've only got the one driver left on track. That's Ko Garassi. Everybody else, I guess, that's planning on qualifying has put in their time and they're happy with it, Rich. And the other, looks like about 8 to 10 cars are either going to start at the back, try and work their way through. Oh, Zach Tankerson, Uncle Zach was the third car in the podium. He'll have the end of line too as well. So a strong showing for Uncle Tank.
I don't know how we forgot about him, but is he in the Audi this week? Is that what I'm seeing, Rob?
He is, yeah. He's switched from his Corvette. We've seen him in more often than not to the Audi this week. I don't know if that's necessarily a wise move or not. The Audi is a car that really hates
It's a gutsy one. It's a gutsy one.
It really hates the curbs, so we'll see how he does, but that's going to be it for all of our cars on track, so we'll have to wait for timing scoring to click over and finish up qualifying. But while that happens, let's take a look at our championship standings coming into this one, Rich. As we see Anthony Jenkins sitting up top via a couple strong finishes the last few weeks. He's got a nice, 13-point gap over Uncle Tank in second place. Uncle Tank with 9 points over Travis Roberto, who's starting to come on here the last couple weeks. Rough start to the season for Travis Rich, but he's starting to come alive here as we get closer to the halfway point. Chase Matsko only 4 points back of him, and Robert Milbrath in fifth place, 117 points, only 9 points back of him. So still fairly tight in amongst second to fifth in the standings, Rich, and then it drops a little bit as we got a logjam tied for sixth place between Jay Davis, Gustavo Ferraro, and Justin Welsh.
Yeah, it's a nice, interesting championship season we've got going thus far. Anthony Jenkins up top, of course, but lots of battles in the beyond there. And there's lots of racing left, Rob, so getting ready here for our pace lap, full pace lap here at Zolder, so we'll get some time to let you know who's on the grid and where.
Absolutely, and I'll pop up the grid here in a second. Rich, why don't you take us through the grid?
Yeah, starting on pole, Anthony Jenkins. Beside him is Vladimir Panian. Then we have Chase Matsko in row 2, P3 with Mike Zachar in P4. Row 3, we have Anthony Parenko in P5 with Justin Welsh beside him. Row 4, Ignacio Arroyo and Gustavo Ferraro. Row 5, we have Jamie MacArthur with Robert Milbrath. In 11th, Jacob Wilson with Adam Lowe rounding out row 6. We have Keo Gerasi and Bobby Watts in row 7. Row 8, we have Steven Zabster with Ron Matthews. In 17th place is Jacob Brown, Brock Morris in beside him in 18th. Alexander Zugig in 19th with Graham Jacobson in 20th. 21st, we have Jay Davis with Mark Ossier beside him. Kevin Schulman, Joseph Spillman. And row 13, the final row, Travis Roberto and Zachary Tankersley.
Like they were sporting the same paint here this evening on Uncle Tank and Travis Roberto's car, Rich. We'll have to see if maybe we got some teammate strategy going on here.
I guess he doesn't have enough Tankersleys in the room, so he's going to recruit more people even.
The field's starting to pull away from the grid. As you mentioned, full pace lap here, but it's a fairly short lap around Zolder, so it shouldn't take too long before we get underway. But we should give a shout out while we're waiting here to the patrons that help put on the broadcast here week in, week out. The FMA patrons, that's Sage Greco, Ron Matthews, Matt Mars, Ben Parson, and Justin Welsh. We thank them for their support to help us put on this coverage here week in, week out for the Freedom Motorsports Alliance League. If you're looking to join the league, you'll actually find their Discord link in the description of the video. They're always recruiting. They run racing, I believe it's 3 nights a week. GT3's here on Monday nights. I believe last night was the Gen 4 racing, and then I believe it's Thursdays they do truck racing. So if you like road racing and you like left turn racing, they have a little bit of that for everybody.
Fun for one and fun for all, Rob. It's a little bit of everything for everyone. Freedom Motorsports Alliance, we're glad to be here once again, folks, as we're just coming around to finish off the pace lap. Coming in through the stadium section, expect to see the pace car pull off very shortly.
You're a little ahead.
Oh,
there,
I'm way ahead, Rob. I'm way ahead. We're not coming into the. Oh my goodness! And I know Zolder loves Zolder, folks. We're only on turn 6. We're so far ahead of the curve here tonight.
Yeah, we got about halfway around the track to go here this evening. We got a new driver, Zvonimir Paninin or Panion. See how he does. He stuck it up on the outside of the front row, Rich. So good showing here for your initial shot into the league. Can't put much more of a stamp on it than that. So we'll see how he does. Anthony Jenkins is going to be interesting, our pole sitter. We usually see him working his way up through the field as he serves one of his end-of-line penalties. So he's going to be starting on the sharp end of the field here this evening, Rich. We'll see if he could potentially jump away from the field. He's going to have to deal with Paninin, Matsko, and Zacher, who are going to try and keep him in check. Yeah,
well, I mean, he's going to try it a little differently this week. Rob didn't get the podium, so he's starting up front. This is going to be a good, exciting race. See how Anthony does from the front of the pack as the drivers come through. He's got one more chicane to go now. I'm actually got it right this time, Rob.
It looks like Travis Roberto and Uncle Tank are going to serve their end of lines from the pit road here this evening. It's an interesting play from them. I know turn 1 here at Zolder could be a little tricky, so that might be a wise play. Come out after any wreck that might happen in turn 1, Rich.
Yeah, not bad at all. But as we see Anthony Jenkins getting a great jump, Anthony Jenkins taking the inside, going too wide. Looks like we've got that going, and we got Chase Matsko jumping up into second place ahead of Zanian right now, but Zanian battling back on the inside. Looks like he's going to get that, or sorry, Zvonimir getting that place back. These guys going side by side. Chase Matsko, now we're going 3 wide, folks. Anthony Barranco getting in the mix.
Yeah, 3 wide through turn 2. These guys aren't wasting much time to get their tires up to temp, Rich. They're feeling comfortable, and away they go. So we'll see how that unfolds here as the lap progresses. It looks like we're back to single file, which was probably inevitable anyways. You definitely don't want to come too wide into this chicane here on lap number 1. Still plenty of race to go.
Yeah, that's what I was thought where we'd see the first big catastrophe, Rob, but so far it looks like we've just got one car. It looks like Robert Milbrath off track. Robert Milbrath trying to get it turned around. A little bit of issues in the chicane. looks like he's getting there with, I'm not sure who that is. Is that
Mark
Mark
Ossier.
Ossier? So,
Yeah.
let's see what
to
happened
him.
here.
So he went through, and I think he just got back into the throttle a little too quick with those cold tires for him, thankfully. Robert Milbrath, let's see if he had any help there getting off track himself. So he was just ahead of OCA. Everybody kind of concertined up in here. Went a little wide, jumped over that curb, and unsettled the Mercedes. Off track he went. So thankfully for both those drivers, Rich, kept it off the wall. And the only thing they lost was a little bit of time and positions.
Yeah, that's not something I thought we'd see at Zolder, Rob. Not in lap 1. I thought we'd see something happen either in turn 1 or in through that first chicane involving other drivers, but everybody keeping it clean. Just a couple little self spins, but everybody back underway. Back on board here, Chase Matsko. Chase is up 1 position. He's moved it up to 2nd place in behind Anthony Jenkins, but good battling going on here as we watch Brock Morris. Brock Morris is trying to make his moves and get himself back up there after a self-imposed end-of-line penalty, I believe, Rob. So he decided to do a little back-to-front challenge tonight. Let's see how Brock makes out at 17th place thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. He moved around the yellow Ferrari of Kevin Schulman, just kind of pulled over and let him go. He's got Jacob Brown up ahead of him now in that Mercedes, in the BMW. Morris going to quickly move around him too as well. So moving up through the field fairly quickly. Let's take a look and see where Graham Jacobson is, one of our other end-of-line penalties takers here. He's already moved up 10 spots into 10th place. His fan club in the chat going to be happy to see that as he moves around Steven Zabziter in the McLaren to get himself up into the top 10.
Well, that's where how we expect to see the Corvettes moving, Rob. At least nice to see them doing a good battle and having some good pace here out in Belgium.
Absolutely. He's got a little bit of ways to go down here to get up to Arroyo, who is just under 2 seconds up ahead of him. He's in a little bit of a battle as he's trying to catch Cal Garassi, Justin Welsh, and Gustavo Ferrero up ahead as they're falling back off Jamie MacArthur. Looks the top 5 starting to break away here from the rest of the field, Rich.
The top 5 are, and Anthony Jenkins is breaking away himself. He's got about a 1.7 second lead now. So Anthony Jenkins kind of loving this starting at the front thing, I think. We've shown a lot of pace all season long, but usually when we're watching him, he's having to move through some traffic. No traffic up ahead for Anthony.
Yeah, he's already got almost a 2-second gap over Chase Matsko. Matsko in the camouflage Mustang. That big old Mustang's kind of hard to put camouflage on and still not see it. You can see it out there on track, but so far so good for him navigating through the chicanes. I'm going to keep with him here. I'm very interested to see how the Mustang reacts over these bumps. You can see it got a little unsettled there, bottomed out, the sparks were flying, so we'll keep an eye. I still think those Mustang drivers are going to have their hands full here this evening compared to our drivers driving in the Porsche.
Yeah, it looks like that thus far, but that said, Chase Matsko doing a good job of holding on and actually closing the gap down a little bit. We're going to go back a little further in the field on board with Gustavo Ferraro. Earlier today, we thought he was going to be a DNS, but somehow managed to make it for tonight. And nice to see Gustavo back in the field.
And he's trying to chase down Justin Welsh up ahead of him in the black, white, and gray camouflage Porsche 911. A couple Mustangs trying to chase him down. A couple Brazilians at that. Gustavo Ferrero and Cal Garassi. I'm going to take and say that they probably know each other here, Rich. Looks like they're working together trying to chase in Justin Welsh, but they got their work cut out for them right now as we head back a little farther in the field. Look at this pack of cars here as Brock Morris still trying to make his way through. He's trying to make the move on the inside of Adam Lowe into turn 1. He's going to make that pass stick. That's going to move him up to 13th place. Now he has Bobby Watts just up ahead of him in that beautiful Castrol paint scheme on that Mustang, Rich. Always love to see it. We'll see if Bobby Watts able to hold off Brock Morris as he's quickly making his way through the field. He and Graham Jacobson not waiting around for invitations here to make moves, Rich.
No, definitely not. And Jay Davis in behind there, back in 50th place, also making some moves. Jay Davis is up 6 positions as well. So Jay Davis also on the hunt. Oh, getting a little bit into the back end of Adam Lowe ahead of him. But so far, so good. Looks like both drivers managed to get through that relatively unscathed.
As they come in, oh man, late breaking move there. Davis gonna go get out of that one, but Arroyo and Zugig almost went to blows here coming into the chicane. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed on that one, Rich. They could have collected a number of cars on that one. So thankfully everybody made it through fairly clean and comfortable. As we see Graham
Wow.
Jacobson moving around the inside of Garassi into the final chicane. Makes that move stick, and then he almost got a little kiss on the rear bumper for his efforts.
Zolder isn't disappointing tonight, folks. Those chicanes, those tight corners, lots of good close racing, and it's hard to go offline when you have to go offline to make a move. There's only one real way to go through some of those chicanes, and we see a little bit of incidents here and there. Take a look at Ignacio Arroyo coming around, taking that curb hard, throwing the Porsche, getting him all unsettled. Fortunately, managing to keep out of the way of everyone, and looks like he gets through unscathed.
Yeah, I don't know how he didn't get cleared out by one of those cars coming in behind him, Rich, but thankfully he did. Everybody must have saw him spinning up ahead. It's a bit of a blind corner coming in that chicane, but you see Jacobson working on Ferraro now. That would get him into 7th place. We'll see how long Ferraro can defend. Try and make that old wide Mustang even wider than it can, but Jacobson's showing a ton of pace here tonight. We'll see if he gets to make a move into the brake zone here. Thinks about it, shows the nose, backs out, trying to force a mistake for Ferraro. Ferraro not biting at this point in time, but I think it's only a matter of time here. Looking at how Jacobson's setting this up, he's going to make the move here into turn 1, I suspect.
Yeah, it's certainly one of the better opportunities for passing attempt. Graham Jacobson, it's all about this corner exit though, folks. You've got to set him up. He's got to get a good pull on the draft here. Taking a look, Graham Jacobson staying right behind. Is he going to stick the nose out? No, fakes it a little bit. Content to tuck in for behind for right now. They make a move going into turn 3. Really needs a good exit. He's going to have to stuff it in here, Rob. And it looks like he's going to try starting to apply a lot of pressure now onto the back of Gustavo Ferraro. But Gustavo Ferraro holding firm. Coming up into the midfield section here, folks. We're going to be entering the first chicane shortly. This might be a place to stick it in as well, but it's always dangerous around those chicanes, especially with those giant curbs here, Rob. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we've already pointed out that neither one of these cars really like going over those curbs, so he's going to have to take it easy. Looks like he got a better exit than Ferraro out of that chicane. Now, can he get up to the door of Ferraro? He'd have the inside line here for the entrance into the chicane, but it will switch back into Ferraro's benefit. Got a little sideways in there, but he's going to make the pass stick, Rich. So that's the move. Jacobson up into 7th place, plus 13 on the day. He's a man on a mission. We'll see if he can maybe chase down Anthony Jenkins, but he has a long way to go. Sitting 14 seconds back of our leader, who's looking strong since the drop of the green flag.
Anthony Jenkins stretching out that lead over Chase Matsko. Almost 3 seconds now. You can see Chase in the background. So Anthony, one of our camera cars, as always. And he's always got a different racing suit on, Rob. Always a little bit flashy. Anthony, thank you very much for going on board live with us here tonight in first place from the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, he was business casual last week, Rich. Now it looks like maybe he's heading to the beach. But looking comfortable out front. So we'll see if anybody's able to challenge Chase Matsko, slowly falling back a little bit. We'll see if he can maybe mount a charge here as the race goes on. They are carrying only 60% fuel load, so they do have to make a pit stop at some point in time. But the lap's very short here at Zolder. I think they can probably go, I can see a good, probably 75-80% into the race here, Rich, before they're really going to need to pop in and get some fuel in these cars.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of the race that you're actually under full throttle as well compared to some of the other tracks. So Chase Matsko sitting in 2nd place overall right now. You know, he made that one pass early on, moved him up one position. He's got himself almost a 2-second gap to Zvonimir behind him. But we're going to go back on board a little further back in 5th place. We've got James MacArthur. James MacArthur having himself a very good battle here. Let's see what's going on. Oh, looking back, getting all over the back is the 67 of Justin Welsh. Justin Welsh and not able to get moved on, but these guys are very close. Jerome Jacobson, Justin Welsh, Jamie MacArthur. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, a pair of Porsches trying to hold off that hard-charging Corvette right now. So it looks like MacArthur able to open up a little bit of a gap over Welsh. He's going to try and pull away, let those two battle. He'd love to see them battle for a number of corners here, Rich. That could allow Jamie MacArthur to get away from them. Justin Welsh right now having to defend for his life. Is already Jacobson caught up, trying to make the move into the inside turn number 2. So he's going to get it. Welsh going to back out, try and tuck in behind, try and find where Jacobson's getting this pace from, see if he can extract some data from that and potentially try and sneak in underneath Jamie MacArthur if Jacobson goes to make the move on him.
Yeah, but considering the Corvette, we didn't expect to be able to handle those bumps well. Graham Jacobson on a tear. Also, well, he's easily got, he's up there with the fastest lap as well. So we had a little bit of incident there, but it looks like going to have to fight back a little bit later on. A little bit close call for Graham Jacobson.
Yeah, that curbing bit him. Oh, it's going to bite him again.
Whoa!
A little too aggressive there. 2 chicanes in a row on the entrance. He's going to have to back it out a little bit. That's going to put a little bit of a second thought into his mind here, Rich, as he heads into those curbs, knowing that back-to-back he's hammered both of those curbs. The car got loose. It did not like it. But we got a battle here between James Davis and Adam Lowe. Davis has just moved around. Lowe, he's up 5 spots of the day. So you mentioned it, Jay Davis having a nice run early on. He's going to continue that on, Rich.
Yeah, always nice to be improving at that rate. Jay Davis and the beautiful livery on that Porsche, having himself Adam Lowe in behind. Up ahead, though, we got Bobby Watts. So, matter of time, Rob, we're only less than 13 minutes into this race. Drivers having a very good event. We expect we're on lap 8 of about 30, so lots of racing still to go. We're just over a quarter of the way through this race.
Yeah, still plenty of things can happen up and down this one, but we got a battle shaping up for 4th place here between Jamie MacArthur and Justin Welsh as he's caught up to the back now that pressure's backed off a little bit from Jacobson. So we'll see now if maybe Welsh feels a little bit of urgency to try and get around MacArthur and let MacArthur have to deal with Jacobson once he catches up. So we'll keep an eye on this. Their closest battle on track right now. So we'll watch these 2 drivers as they head around on lap number 8 into the chicane here, Rich.
Yeah, making a big move up the inside to getting that move done. Justin Welsh throwing that car in. Now we got 3-way battle here. We've got Justin Welsh, Jamie MacArthur, Graham Jacobson now finally getting that car back under control after those early chicane incidents. 3-car battle, Rob. So that closest battle on track has got 3 cars in it. If we don't go too much further, Gustavo Ferraro might be able to get back into this here with 3 cars battling ahead.
Yeah, Ferraro probably loving seeing what he's seeing up ahead. He'd love to see them battle for a good half lap or so. I think that's all he really needs to get up into this battle, Rich. He's only sitting about a 1.5 seconds or so back of them right now. So see Jacobson showing the nose, faking, baking a move into turn 1. MacArthur not falling for it, but Welsh going to go wide. It's going to cost him some time as he kicks up a little bit of the kitty litter. Oh. Now Jacobson going to try and go the long way around the outside. Welsh going to try and defend on the inside. Can he hold him off? He is not. Jacobson can get that move done up into 6th place. Put him plus 14 on the day.
Just a little stroll in the park for Graham Jacobson this far. Had a few little self scares, but overall, fabulous racing and great pace all evening long. Graham Jacobson on a tear, folks. Next person on his list, Justin Welsh.
Let's have a look at the quickest lap times on the board right now. Graham Jacobson 128.25, Anthony Jenkins 128.20, Chase Maskell 128.18. So those are our top 3 times. All 3 of those drivers fairly competitive. Would be interesting to see if they all started at the front, Rich. We might have had a hell of a battle here in this one.
We may have, and that's 3 different manufacturers. That's a Porsche, that's a Ford, that's a Corvette. So meanwhile, let's see what Brock Morris is doing. Brock Morris up 8 positions as well. So Brock Morris falling along behind Steven Zabster, and right now Steven Zabster up 6 positions, but he's got Brock Morris charging hard. Take a look here what's going on, and Brock Morris is Steven Zabster still battling coming out of the final corner. They're going to battle it out down the straightaway going to turn 1. We have a little bit of connection issues. Brock Morris back on board now, though. Brock Morris looking for a little bit more, but Steven Zabster also looking for more. They're looking to move up. We'll see what happens.
We'll keep our eye on these 2 drivers here. Zabster looking strong. He's been able to open up that gap now that Morris had that little bit of an issue. But they're going to continue to battle. We've got a battle a little farther back here between Ignacio Arroyo, Alexander Zugig, and I believe that is Nope, hold on here. That's the Corvette. Jacob Wilson leading this trio along here. I believe Jacob, another new name. I don't remember seeing him this season at all, or maybe if he has, I apologize, Jacob. sometimes I just can't remember every single name out there in all the leagues we cover, Rich. But strong battle here for 11th place, just outside the top 10.
Yeah, that's fabulous racing. That's what we expect to see at FMA, with a nice 26 car field or 25 car field. And man, oh man, Jacob Wilson, 11th place right now. We believe his debut here, at least in the GT3 League, with Ignacio Arroyo, Alexander Zugig in behind. So 17 minutes into this race, and 11th place is up for grabs. And we're saying, look at the move here we got going on. My goodness gracious. Jacob Wilson taking the brunt of that, losing 2 positions on the corner. Both guys going by. Alexander Zugig, Ignacio Arroyo going by. They're going to battle into this next chicane on the inside. Nope, we're going to have to duck out of it right now. Alexander Zugig moves up 2 spots over those last couple of corners.
Yeah, nice job taking advantage of that battle in the opening there for Zugig. So see if he's able to keep moving forward. They've fallen back about 11 seconds back of Brock Morris, who really saw him battling them only a couple laps ago. So just to show you the kind of pace that Brock Morris has had here this evening up ahead. Hasn't been able to find a way around Steven Zabzer, though.
No, Steven has also demonstrated he's got some good pace, and he's also got some good defensive abilities. You can pass here, obviously, as we've seen at Zolder, but good defense will make that very, very difficult. As we look at Brock Morris staying up the inside of the chicane, getting into the back of things. Oh my goodness, spinning him around, getting that position. That's not really the way you want to make a move, folks. That was kind of a little bit harsh on Steven Zabster.
Yeah, we'll see if we can catch another look here at what exactly happened as they head in. Zabster, the lead car. Morris tries to make the move on the inside. Oh, he had some overlap there. I think Zabster just didn't think he quite had, or I thought he had a little more space there than he did. I think that's just more of a racing incident than anything on that one.
Yeah, well, we're not stewards, we're just broadcasters, folks, and that's all that matters. We take a look at Brock Morris coming into the pits now. Brock Morris, after that contact, coming in and getting his service. And behind him, Anthony Barranco having earlier issues as well. He's coming into the pits.
Some interesting stuff there. We're seeing some cars come in early here. Rich opting for the undercut. Zolder, we were talking again as well off camera that it's a tricky pit entrance. You get that really short lane off of the second to last corner, and then you got to get hard left, hard right, and if the car coming in right behind you doesn't necessarily see you braking up ahead, things can get a little sketchy very quickly through there.
Oh, definitely they can. And did something happen to Alexander Zugig? Yeah, we do. We've got a replay here. Alexander looking to make a move, coming up the inside. Oh, this is just, wow, almost looks like a replay of kind of what we saw earlier. Alexander Zugig getting the worst of that, and and then backing out into traffic. Not a good scene.
Yeah, that was Zabster again getting spun around. Almost looks similar to the last one where the car had a little bit of overlap and he cut down in front of him. So I'm not sure if Steven Zabzer is racing with a... Oh, who got cleared out? Was that Kevin Shulman that got caught coming through there? See him flag for something too as well, but not sure if that was that same incident. No, this is a separate spot on the track. He's heading into pit road, but as I was saying, I'm not sure if Steven Zabster is racing with a spotter out there, Rich, but he would have got car inside on both those calls.
Yeah, that's a tough one, Rob. Oh well, we'll keep going forward anyways, though. Up in third place, we've got Zvonimir Pinian right now, having himself a good debut here in FMA. He's down 1 position, but he's sitting third overall with Anthony Jenkins and Chase Matsko ahead of him. Zvonimir Pinian having himself a very good race, sitting in a solid podium position right now.
Yeah, a nice showing for him as Graham Jacobson now is caught up to the back of Mike Zacher. Zacher, one of the few cars still sitting in his qualifying position in 4th place, but Graham Jacobson looks like he is going to be very aggressive in trying to take that position away, not wanting to waste much time here. Still got plenty of time here to push forward, 24 minutes. See if he can mount a charge on top spot, but he's going to need some help from Jenkins, Matsko, and Zvonimir Panian. Something to happen from him to lose a ton of time for him to really close that gap.
Well, there's always the pits. Hopefully he's practices pit entry, pit exit, and in and out laps, because Graham Jacobson on a charge, up 16 positions starting from the back of the field today, all the way up to 4th right now. Looking for more, but he's got a good chunk of change to get up to the next spot. Next spot's almost 9.5 seconds ahead of him, so he's looking for a podium. He's going to have to keep moving it.
Oh, we got a race brewing up top now. I'm not sure what's caused Anthony Jenkins to have a little bit slower lap than the previous lap. He's navigating through traffic, but Chase Matsko now only 6/10 back from as they're working their way around the lap car. I believe that's Jacob Wilson, the black Corvette. He's going to pull aside and let them through. So now we'll see if Chase Matsko can mount a charge. Chase with the quickest lap of the race, 128.13. So he's got some pace here, Rich. Started outside of, inside of row number 2. Got himself up into 2nd place. Can he mount a charge here on our championship leader, Anthony Jenkins?
Yeah, that gap closed down rather quickly, or at least from our standpoint. So I'm not sure what happened, but Chase Matsko on a tear. Anthony Jenkins looks like he's got things a little better in control now. Maybe he got involved with some traffic. I'm not sure, because gap's open up just over a second now. Looks like whatever happened with Anthony, he's recovered nicely, and looks like he's looking to open up that gap a little bit more on the Mustang behind him of Chase Matsko.
Yeah, last lap for Jenkins, 129.6. So I think it was just navigating through the traffic that slowed him down.
Look at the curves up ahead, and we've got lap traffic again, but Anthony Jenkins getting by cleanly. Anthony Jenkins and Chase Matsko also getting by. Jacob Brown getting out of the way for the leaders. Very nice driving by him, folks. Anthony Jenkins getting those brakes red hot coming through the chicane. Chase Matsko, though, back in tow. Chase Matsko is starting to pour it on a little bit.
Yeah, he's really taking advantage of when they catch some lap traffic. It just seems to be it's been more of his advantage the last couple of lap cars that they've got. But they're going to add some clean track now here, Rich. Nobody really immediately close to affect them. Maybe another lap or two, they might get into some more lap traffic, but this is where Matsko is going to want to try and push as much as he can to really close that gap. So when they do get back up into some lap traffic, you potentially try and pounce and make a move.
Yeah, that's lap traffic on a short track is always going to come into play in a 45-minute race, especially at somewhere where the drivers have similar pace. And looking at these two drivers coming, it's definitely so far Chase Matsko taking advantage of the back markers, but Anthony Jenkins doing a great job when they're out in the open air. So 20 more minutes to decide this, including a pit stop coming up for both drivers. Going to be interesting, Rob.
Absolutely, and Graham Jacobson has just set the fastest lap of the race on lap 16, Rich, our first driver to dip into the 127s, 127.76 for Graham Jacobson. So he's coming. If these guys get into a battle up ahead, he's going to quickly start to click off those lap times very quickly, as he's now only 6 seconds back of Zvonimir Panian in the 3rd place. So no doubt he'll be keeping an eye on his relative, seeing that Graham Jacobson's quickly taking a bite out of that gap.
He's flying, Rob. That's a Corvette. The lighter the fuel load goes and the less traffic in front. Graham Jacobs got this thing dialed in tonight. Beautiful. Classic, a yellow liveried Corvette.
Looks like Chase Matsko going to come in for his service here. So another driver coming in early on to get his service done, to try and get himself out in some clean air, excuse me, not hair. See if he can maybe try and leapfrog Anthony Jenkins through pit strategy. But we've seen drivers try this many times in the past, Rich. The undercut just doesn't seem to really work in GT racing.
Yeah, I mean, if they're taking tires, I think that's when it can work. But they're not taking tires in a 45-minute race. Yeah, I think you got to get into the hour and a half before undercuts start really having any significance other than to avoid traffic. But Justin Welsh now taking advantage of that He's tentatively in 4th place right now. Justin Welsh having himself a good race thus far. He's got Mike Zaka in behind him in 5th. So still good close racing, folks, including a pit stop still to come for a lot of drivers, including these two here. They're entering we're on lap 18 now of a projected 31 in this 45-minute timed race.
Yeah, past the halfway mark. Be interesting to see if we get a few more drivers coming in here, Rich. Who's going to push the fuel envelope to the end? Who's going to try and react to the driver that maybe they were battling with coming in? Still plenty to unfold here as we got 18, just under 18 and a half minutes to go. But Gustavo Ferraro, he's moved himself up one spot. Got JB MacArthur just ahead of him. +3 positions on the day for MacArthur, the Canadian, in the blue, pink, and black Porsche 911. Trying to stay ahead of that big old Mustang. Looks like MacArthur going to come in for his services. Ferraro going to follow him. He is. It looks like the rest of our top 10 coming in here, Rich, is Anthony Jenkins. Looks like the lone car going to go around one more time.
And the pit window is going to end soon, but we're not going to know exactly where everybody's going to sit until Anthony Jenkins manages to bring it back into the pits. Anthony Jenkins stretching the fuel. A little extra lap over most of the rest of the field. Been having a great race, Rob. He's had a great season all season long. Nice to see Anthony Jenkins starting on pole, continuing to lead from the start of the green flag here.
Yeah, he's been strong from qualifying into the drop of the green flag. See if he can keep pushing that pace. But Chase Matsko back out from his service. Looks like a little bit of a longer stop for Chase compared to some of the other drivers who've already come in. 16.2 seconds in his stall. Graham Jacobson only 15.95. Justin Wells 15.0. Brock Moore's 15.37. So keep an eye on Chase Matsko's time here. He may be in jeopardy of losing a position here with that slower stop.
Well, unfortunately for Chase, though, Zvonimir Pinion had a very slow stop, Rob, so he's dropped a few positions. He's behind Graham Jacobson now, and going into the pits, I think Graham Jacobson was about 6 seconds behind him. So we take a look. Anthony Jenkins now coming in for his pit stop. Once this lap completes, I'd expect to see everybody had stopped. The only other person left to come in is Ignacio Arroyo.
Yeah, Arroyo heading towards the pit lane here now. I suspect to see him pop in this time by, as there's no way he's got enough fuel to go around one more lap. And there it is. He's coming in too as well. So Jenkins in his stall for another couple seconds. We should see him pop out now. But looks like Chase Matsko in through the final corner here now, across start-finish line. Anthony Jenkins on pit exit. Pit exit is a long way down, almost into turn 2 here, Rich. So Jenkins should easily get back out ahead of Matsko.
Yeah, I would think so. And take a look on board here now. We look at the gap, but the gap is, whoa, getting a little close there, folks. But Chase Matsko getting through cleanly. The Castro car going off track, avoiding any contact. So take a look back at the replay, see what happened here with Robbie Watts.
Just got loose and drifted out way wide. So thankfully a lot of runoff here at Zolder for him. Long way from getting into the wall.
Yeah, all that going on. Chase Matsko just under 2 seconds behind Anthony Jenkins. So it didn't really hurt him too much. The pit times there, Rob. Looks like the biggest loser, though, was Zvonimir Pinion. But Graham Jacobson now up into 3rd place. Graham Jacobson, he's got about 7.5 seconds behind Chase Matsko. He's got a long way to go. He wants to move up to 2nd place. Right now, the battle is going to be for 1st. We got Anthony Jenkins, Chase Matsko, Graham Jacobson, Brock Morris, Justin Welsh, your top 5. Board a little further back in the field, folks. We got Jamie MacArthur in 9th place. Jamie MacArthur having himself a good battle here with Gustavo Ferraro up ahead in the Mustang. These two drivers have been fairly close most of this race long. We got Europe. We've got North America, Ford versus Porsche. Right now, Jamie MacArthur trying to get ahead of Gustavo Ferraro, but Gustavo Ferraro, both drivers sitting in the positions they started in 8th and 9th. We're 31 minutes into this race, they haven't moved.
Yeah. Not too often we see, Rich, once we get 3/4 of the way through the race, that we got drivers still where they qualified, unless it's the leader and they're just dominating the field like Anthony Jenkins is doing here this evening. So keep an eye on that. Obviously, both those drivers very competitively paced as they started right next to each other and they wound up next to each other 3/4 of the way through this race. So we'll see how it goes. Ferraro right now leading the way. MacArthur trying to find a way around them. So they've swapped their positions from where they were before they came in for their pit cycle, where MacArthur was leading the way with Ferraro. A little quicker pit stop time, 15.1 to MacArthur's 16.3. So that's how he's got himself back up into his qualifying position.
Yeah, it's been a good battle all race long, but there's also been a good battle up front. Anthony Jenkins, Chase Matsko, less than a second apart still. We're on lap 21. I predict about 30. So we were, last 10 laps of this race, we're into the final third. Anthony Jenkins doing a good job thus far of holding off Chase Matsko, but Chase Matsko applying all kinds of pressure, Rob, letting him know he's there. Not tucked up right behind right now, but that Mustang doing a lot better, I think, than we gave the Mustang credit for.
Yeah, Matsko showing he knows how to wheel that car, but starting to run out of time here to really mount the charge. You see him get close, and then Jenkins kind of finds that extra tenth or two the next lap to open that gap back up. So we'll see if Matsko can put together a couple of quick laps, as he was 6/10 quicker last time by than Jenkins. Looks like Jenkins starting to edge that gap back out here a little bit. Oh, was he really hammered the curbs heading into the chicane, bottomed out that car, almost got a little loose and slippery through there. So that's going to compromise his time a little bit to allow Matsko to get a better run here into the braking zone. But can he make a move? It's going to be too far away to do it this time, Rich, but try and set one up to potentially make a move into turn one.
Yeah, turn one is always a good passing opportunity. I must say, Rob, I just want to make mention, I love the livery on Anthony Jenkins' car. His autograph across the driver's side door, and I believe the passenger as well. Yes, it is. Nice, great camera angle there. That's just a classy looking race car. But doing a good job. He's so far so good. Managing to hold off Chase Matsko. Chase Matsko is not going to be able to make a move into turn one here. He's still about 3/4 of a second in behind. So running out of time. 11.5 minutes left. Maybe another 7 or 8 laps. So Chase Matsko is going to have to close that gap down and make a move. He wants to get that nice big cup and first place honors.
Absolutely. The gap almost to a second now, as you mentioned. Graham Jacobson has himself into third place via that slower pit stop time for Zavani Pannian, as you mentioned early on. He's fallen down to 6th place. Brock Morris got himself up into 4th place too as well. So both those Corvette drivers promptly moving up through the field here, Rich. I'm sure you love seeing that.
I do. I mean, we've got Porsche, then we've got Ford, 2 Corvettes, and then we got a bunch more Porsches. So I haven't seen much of Ferrari, McLarens, Mercedes, BMWs tonight, but oh man, we've had some good results from cars that we weren't necessarily expecting to see do well.
Exactly, as we see, Robert Milbrath.
Oh wow,
getting a little loose out of turn number 1, had to collect the car up. He's trying to chase down Garassi up ahead. Jay Davis just up ahead of them too as well. Jay Davis, nice strong run for him, up 9 spots into 12th place. Zugig just ahead of him too as well in 11th, up 8 places on the day for him. So nice run by both those Porsche drivers.
Yeah, Zugig I think would have been up a little further, got into a little earlier trouble, but battling back hard. The Porsche having himself a good showing, trying to catch up to the Porsche. And what am I talking about, Rob? I'm a little lost here, but man, what a big move by Alexander Zugig, putting the pressure and putting the hammer down.
He was moving around the lap car of Kevin Shulman in that Ferrari. Oh, Shulman's going to go off into the wall. And just in self-injury, as he did that, Alexander came on the radio, J.R. Davis came in the radio and said, "That's not how you do it, Kevin." And Kevin absolutely acknowledged it. So it's one of those you can't park there moments for Kevin Shulman, but thankfully he was able to get it back on and out of the way
He is a
before
student driver, Rob. So
before any of the other drivers came through. Oof.
whoa! Oh no!
Oh man.
Oh,
Mike
Mike
Zacher.
Zacher sending it over the big curbs at the chicane, and having to gather back up.
Oh, let's see. He might have had a
he
little bit of help
decided
there.
I think he was pushed over the curbs by a little bit of contact with Gustavo Ferrara. I don't think Mike Zacher's going to be too pleased.
Yeah, it's again, that just looked like another two cars trying to fight for the same piece of real estate on track, Rich. And coming into these chicanes, it's tough when that happens. There's not a whole lot of space, but now Ferraro having to deal with MacArthur, who's back on his rear bumper. And they're actually not too far up ahead of Mike Zacher as it is, so we'll see if he's able to catch back up with them. But getting down to the last 8 minutes here, Rich. Anthony Jenkins slowly opening up that gap back over Chase Matsko in second place. Matsko still holding, was it about 5 seconds over Graham Jacobson. Jacobson's coming, but I think right now the clock going to be his enemy, Rich.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do when you've got to go through that many cars, and I think Graham Jacobson was really hoping for a 60-minute race because he's had fantastic pace all night tonight. But he's 4 3/4 seconds behind Chase Matsko, so time is of the essence. He's only making up about half a second a lap. We're running out of laps.
And you said we're on pace for what, 30 laps you're showing tonight?
That's what I'm guessing about tonight, Rob. It's going to be within one of those.
They're on lap 24 now. Then come around to start lap 25. So we'll only have 6 laps to go. And he's sitting at about 5 seconds back. So yeah, he's going to have to make almost a second a lap up on Chase Matsko just to try and have a chance on the last lap to make a move. That's a tall order. You're asking for something to happen up ahead. And unfortunately, I think Chase Matsko is showing tonight that he has a firm handle on that Mustang's handling here, so I don't suspect that he's going to offer up anything here for Jacobson to try and take away that second spot.
No, I don't think so, but you got to be on point around here at Zolder. To take a look at Zvonimir Pinion. Still having himself a good comeback here against Justin Welsh, going up the inside, Welsh around the outside, and right now he's having to tuck it back inside. Justin Welsh holding him off for now, so Zvonimir looking to gain back some of those positions he lost in the pits, but having himself a tough time getting by Justin Welsh. We're going to have the chicane coming up here, Rob. Please, let's hope these drivers get through cleanly. Zvonimir looking for more, wisely tucking in behind, looking to make a move a little bit later on, applying all kinds of pressure to the back of Justin Welsh.
Yeah, we've seen Welsh in a number of battles here this evening. At one point in time, he and MacArthur were nose to tail as Graham Jacobson was catching them. Seen him battling with Paninin here, so he's had a lot of battle-tested racing here tonight, Rich. So no doubt he's prepared to try and hold off Paninin as much as he can in behind. But speaking of MacArthur, who's been in some battles, he's got Ferraro just ahead of him. These two guys can't seem to find anybody else on track to race with other than the two. Oh, they're gonna come to blows.
Oh, wow!
Is MacArthur gonna slip up the inside? Ferraro gonna try and get right back on him, but they've got that lapped McLaren up ahead of Marc Ossier. A little bit of damage on the front end. He's going to hold them up a little bit into the chicane here. So we'll see if Ferraro can get the run out. No doubt he's going to want to get that position back as much as he can.
Coming out right across the start-finish line. Marc Ossier getting out of the way. Gustavo Ferraro had himself a good, close, hard fight against Jamie MacArthur. Both drivers using all the track and then a little bit extra. Gustavo Ferraro applying some pressure here. Nice close battling with Jamie MacArthur. Only just over 4.5 minutes left in this race. 41 minutes into it. These drivers still battling like it's lap number 1 here, folks.
Well, they've been battling for all 40 minutes for the most part here, Rich.
Yeah.
So they're probably getting tired of seeing each other in their mirrors and over the windshield at this point in time. But oh, Ferraro cuts over the curb, bunny hops. That's going to give him a nice fat slowdown. I think it's like almost 2.5 seconds of slowdown over that chicane. It's really brutal, so that's going to cost him a ton of time to MacArthur. But our leader, comfortable up front, Anthony Jenkins, has led this one from the drop of the green flag. Looking like he has no interest in relinquishing top spot here, Rich. Comfortable 1.4, almost 1.5 second gap over Matsko as we get down to the last 4 minutes of this one.
Yeah, he's been the class of the field tonight, Rob, and for the most part this season, demonstrating great pace, great racecraft as well, and ability to pass and make passes. Anthony Jenkins, the class of the field tonight thus far. Chase Matsko, about a second and a half behind. Graham Jacobson, our biggest mover from the back of the pack, all the way up into the podium position with Brock Morrison behind, Justin Welsh behind them.
So head back here to MacArthur and Panion. Zvonimir Panion going to get himself back up into 6th place. Something had happened to him. He'd fallen back in behind MacArthur. He kind of split up MacArthur and Ferraro, but he's quickly got himself back up into that position. So up and down day for Zvonimir Panion, who started in 2nd place to start this race off outside of the pole position. Fell down after his slower pit stop here, Rich, trying to work his way through. I wonder if maybe he took tires. As I'm looking, he's in right around that 22-second mark, which pretty much tells us that he probably took all 4 tires, which ZOLDER necessarily isn't a track that's tough on tires. You're not really high-speed corners where you're burning up either the left front or right front here, Rich. So looks like it was probably not the correct play for him this evening.
Yeah, not to mention that it's going to take you a couple laps to warm those tires up as well. So take a look here. What happened to Adam Lowe? Locking it up, losing it around the corner, getting into the wall. A little bit of damage on the front end of that car.
Oh, and it's
a lot of damage.
Again, unfortunately. Right in front of, I believe that was, which one of our Porsches was that was coming through? That was Justin Welsh. That thankfully, or was thankful that Adam Lowe didn't snap it back around on track as he was coming through there. So he was able to sneak through without any incident. Looks like this battle here is kind of calmed down a little bit. Heinen starting to run away. MacArthur, Ferraro, a little bit of a gap there between them, but minute and a half to go here, Rich. Anthony Jenkins, 1.5 more laps to go for him.
Yeah, it's been a pretty cool and calm race day for Anthony Jenkins. Once he got through corner 1, I mean, Chase Matsko did make a little bit of a charge at a couple of points, but Anthony Jenkins held strong all day long. I'll make a mention of Zvonimir Panion in 6th place. Although he started 2nd, outside of taking those tires, it's a pretty impressive debut here in the Freedom Motorsports Alliance for him. He qualified 2nd, he's sitting 6th, he's had great racing. Just a little unfortunate pit decision.
Yeah, those things happen. You try a little different strategy than maybe everybody else. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But you know what? If you're not trying, what are you doing out there, Rich?
You're crying.
So hats off to him. But looks like we have our last lap underway. Anthony Jenkins, last time around for him. Chase Matsko sitting 1.6 seconds back. Graham Jacobson, valiant effort for him, but he's going to only get it down to about 3.5 seconds for him. But maybe if we had another 2 or 3 more laps, Rich, he might have been able to challenge for top spot. But I think right now, Anthony Jenkins, class of the day, just has it on cruise control. Doesn't want to push the envelope here, Rich. Spin out somewhere and toss a nice race out the window.
Yeah, I'd keep it off the curbs a little bit more than you maybe had on the previous couple of laps, but just a couple of corners more to go. One more little chicane of the several chicanes here at ZOLDER. Anthony Jenkins qualified on pole. Took the lead on the first corner. He's held the lead the whole race long. Anthony Jenkins, he's going to be our winner here, folks, tonight. ZOLDER in FMA, Freedom Motorsports Alliance. Congratulations, Anthony Jenkins. Chase Matsko coming across in 2nd. 3rd place with a huge effort from the back of the pack, Graham Jacobson in the Corvette.
Yeah, Brock Morris gets himself up 14 places, 2 into 4th place. Nice run for him. Justin Welsh going to round out the top 5 in the Porsche, up 1 spot from where he qualified. Nice run for him. Zvonimir on his debut, as you mentioned, Nice overall showing. Made a couple strategy errors, but overall 6th place, nothing to cry at.
Definitely not. We continue falling along here with the drivers coming across the end. We got Mike Zacher finishing in 9th place. He's down 5 positions, having a little bit of contact earlier. We're going to keep on going, folks. We are still got a bunch of cars out on track. Jay Davis in 12th place right now. Jay Davis coming across here in the beautiful livery of the Porsche. Last chicane, and Jay Davis ahead of Durasi at this stage. They're going to finish that way, 12th, 13th place overall.
Jacob Wilson going to come home in 14th place. Rough race for him. Had a nice race shaped up earlier. Robert Milbrath going to round out our top 15. It looks like he's trying to coast that car back. A little bit of a miscalculation for fuel potentially for Robert Milbrath. Let's see if he has enough to get himself to the line.
Plenty, Rob, plenty. He did have his fastest time in the pits, but I guess that's why, folks. He's looking for a little bit of a boost from Chase Matsko. Oh, that's what you get when you take that nice cool down lap after the race, and you can come out, help your buddy cross the start finish line. Nice job by Chase Matsko pushing him across the finish.
No driver left behind in this race, Rich.
He's got the camo on.
It's going to make this one official. Let's take a look at our official results. Anthony Jenkins takes top spot, 1.1 seconds over Chase Matsko. Graham Jacobson going to round out your podium. Morrison Welsh round out your top 5 with Paninin, MacArthur, Ferraro, Zacher, and Zugig. Rounding out your top 10 drivers. Arroyo in 11th with Davis in 12th. Grassi and Wilson round out your top 14. Milbrath, Ossier, Matthews, and Lowe round out our top 18 drivers. 19th place going to Bobby Watts. Kevin Schulman in 20th. We get into our cars who did not see the checker flag. Jacob Brown, Anthony Bronco, Steve Zabzeder, Joseph Spillman, and for some reason Travis Roberto and Zach Uncle Tankersley never showed up to the grid here this evening, Rich.
Yeah, I was expecting to see at least a couple of Tankersleys in the field tonight, but unfortunately not. So hopefully we see them back next week.
Absolutely. So that'll wrap it up here at Zolder Racewise for us. We'll see if we can grab a driver or two for an interview. Let's see if we can chase down Anthony Jenkins to catch up with our own Richard Swindells here. If I could just find him in the Discord. There he is. We'll bring in our race leader here, Anthony Jenkins.
Hey, congratulations, Anthony. Hey, Anthony, it's Richard at Racer Nexus. Can you hear me?
How about now? There we go.
Hey, now we can hear you, Anthony. Congratulations on your victory tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It was you took pole. You held onto it that first corner. Outside of you had a little bit of pressure from Chase about midway through the race, but overall you kind of just held it together. Did that go as expected for you?
No, that went much better than expected. I tell you, this is not a strong track for me. Chase was definitely quicker, but I'm old and slow, and but fortunately I'm pretty consistent. So I think I just made less mistakes than him, and I really practiced a lot on the pit entry, and really paring down the fueling as much as I could to try to save some time in the pits. And that looked like it worked out. So I'll take it.
Well, oh, definitely. We were interested to see how you would do from the front because we're used to seeing you start from the back. So it looked like it's a little bit easier for you when you get to start up the front. You're only battling with one car as opposed to 20 cars.
Yeah, much better. I'm glad I didn't have to start from the back around here because overtaking is not a good time, I'm sure. Like I said, Chase was definitely quicker than me the whole race. So
those chicanes can be brutal. Well, congratulations. We hope to see you next week. I think we're going to have to see you a little more challenged, though, starting from the back of the pack. But it's a price worth paying to continue your championship lead. Congratulations. Anybody you'd like to thank tonight, Anthony?
As always, thank you guys, first of all, for the broadcast. And thanks to my wife for putting up with this nonsense. So I'll see you guys next week.
Awesome. We will. Congratulations. We'll see you next week.
So with our race winner, Anthony Jenkins, let's see if we can grab Chase Matsko to have a chat with him to see how his race. Chase started in third place, got yourself up into second place. Looks like maybe at times you had some pace to challenge Anthony, but couldn't quite find that little extra couple tenths to get around him.
Yeah, I think I had a faster one lap pace than him, but I kept making mistakes, especially in turn 2, and he was very consistent the whole time. So, and that obviously that's the name of the game. So it was a good race though, so I can't complain.
I was actually well, if you watch this back, you'll see it. I was talking some smack about the Mustangs, saying that they probably wouldn't be able to handle the chicanes too well here. But you proved me wrong all night. You were able to handle that Mustang, keep it up over the chicanes, not lose the back end. Was it a bit of an animal here tonight?
Not really, but I mean, this is my favorite track, and I have hundreds of laps here, so I'm used to it, I guess. But I'm sure for other people, it's probably a challenge, especially that first chicane of the sausage curbs that'll send you to the moon if you're not careful.
Absolutely. We head to Barber Motorsport Park next week. A drastically different track here than Zolder. A lot more elevation changes, a lot of blind corners. How are you feeling about going to that one? We going to see you in the Mustang again, or are you going to pick a different car?
I'll probably stick with the Mustang. I was trying to run the Aston, and it wasn't being too kind to me. I kept spinning out in it, so I'm going to stick with the Mustang. But I've never driven Barber before. I still have to buy it, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, you'll be in for a treat. Just don't get caught looking at the all the metal art, I guess, around the track, the big old spider. Yeah. But before we let you go, Chase, you got any shout outs you want to give to anybody out there watching?
Shout out to Matt for helping you get this all set up with you guys. You guys do a great job, and it's fun to watch, so appreciate it.
Excellent stuff. We appreciate that. Best of luck next week, Chase. Get out there and get some practice in to learn up Barber.
Thank you, sir.
That was our second place driver, Chase Matsko. Let's quickly bring in our third place driver and biggest mover on the day, Graham Jakeston, to catch up with Richard Swindells.
Hey, Graham, congratulations on making the podium from the back of the pack.
Hey, thank you, man.
You had your own cheering section out on the airwaves. Cheering you on the whole race. I'm sure you're aware of that. It's always nice that you bring your own subscribers for us. How did you find battling, making all those passes at Zolder? We saw some of the moves, and it seems to be a tough place to throw the car in.
Yeah, I mean, I've been practicing nonstop for this one, and I knew I had the pace, but, starting from the back, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it. But, I kind of just told myself before the race, just pick one off every lap. And, I just slowly started reeling them in and then would try to get them at the very next possible corner and just do that over and over again. And it seems to have worked for me.
It definitely did. I think if there was another 15 minutes left in this race, it would have been a really interesting finish. But unfortunately, there isn't. Next week, we're at Barber. Have you done much practice there?
Yeah, I've actually driven Barber in real life. So it's one of my personal favorite tracks, and, just love that layout and love all the hills and the blind corners. And, it's just overall a really fun track. So, I'm honestly a little upset that I'm going to have another EOL next week, but, I'll see what I can do from the back again.
Well, that's the pain of making the podium, but great racing tonight. Anybody you'd like to give a thanks to tonight, Graham?
Today's my dad's birthday, so happy birthday to him. And, thank you to my fan club again. I haven't seen the chat to see who is in there, but I've got some guesses. But yeah, another huge thank you to all of FMA and, for putting on another great race tonight. A really fun long race, super clean as always. And yeah, thanks to all the other drivers, all the other guys for, racing clean and, driving fast. So yeah, that's all I got.
Right on. Well, I think you thanked everybody, and I like it. So we look forward to seeing what you can do at Barber next week. We'll see if you can be the spider and spin a magical web and move from the back to the front again. So congratulations. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks, man. Have a good night.
You too.
That was third place Graham Jacobson, and that's going to wrap things up for us here. Rich, Zolder, it didn't disappoint. We had a ton of racing all up and down the field from start to finish, and even though we thought maybe Anthony Jenkins was going to walk away from early on, Chase Matsko kept him honest. Farmer Motorsports Park going to be real interesting next week. A couple drivers going to have to learn that track. We know Graham Jacobson coming into this one knowing the track well, start from the back. So we'll see if he can move through the field again next week. But that's going to do it for us here. We'll catch you next week, same time, same place. For Richard Swindells, I'm Rob Kimlis and Racers Nexus. We'll catch you next week. Bye for now.
Good night.